Is this thing on? I believe so. I believe so. I am inclined to believe that this thing is indeed on. Why does it take so long to get the horizontal stream going? Okay. Let's go. What the frick, man? Where's my horizontal stream? Horizontal YouTube, hello, please. There it is. Okay. Alright, there we are. We're gonna do some more fixing of stuff and things this morning. Happy morning, everyone. Happy morning. So last night, didn't get a whole lot done, but it was a fun stream. Did a lot of yapping. We did some camera tracing stuff. We got the box trace working, so that's cool. We got the box trace working. Good morning. Get rid of trace to mouse mode. Yeah, we don't need the trace to mouse mode. So we figured out that while the box trace does work nicely, the one thing it does not work nicely for is the placement location, because the hit location is not the center of the box, which is what we would want. So I kind of need... I also need a line trace as well. I need a line trace as well. So I need to fold that in. Now, do I always need that? Or do I only need that if... How would I combine these? How would I combine these? Because I want, like... I probably need... Last hit, surface, normal. I probably need to break up the trace hit result into different... We'll still keep the trace hit result. But I think we need to add different... couple different variables that I can store with this one. So that way I don't need to ferry around this hit result either. Because it will, if I use the same hit, well, I can't even do that with blueprints, but even if I were, it would overwrite it. Yeah, I think I need specific... I think I need a specific, like, impact location. Hit, let's do trace, hit, impact, location. That's going to be an important one. We'll break that. We'll just set this unconditionally, I think, is fine. Because it'll just be like 0, 0, right? If it's not, Will it be 0, or will it be the end, the trace end? I think it'll be trace end, which is what we would want anyway. Two different traces. So that's gonna be fun to maintain. And let's first of all, get all the noodles straightened out here. The nudes. Oh, shit. Ah, shit. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, so let's do, let's add a little comment here. So do a line trace as well, so that we can get the center of the box interaction trace to use for building placement. Perfect. Mohammed, hello, welcome in. How can I know the objectives of this session? I'm sorry for this question. You don't need to apologize for questions. Is it related to ML or AI? We're just doing some game dev. We're just doing some game dev, and I need to get in the habit of doing something like this. UE5 game. I need it because, like, on YouTube Shorts, you don't get the title of the stream or anything. Blueprint now? Okay, here I'll change it. This is not a blueprint friendly stream. There we go. Is that better for you? Nice C++ for you. But I need to get in the habit of doing this and then like pin it. I'm gonna pin the comment to YouTube Shorts, so that way there's at least somewhat of a description of what we're doing, which is I'm doing some game dev, working on a combination of 3 different genres: Colony Sim, RPG, and Roguelite. And so if I had to pick 3 games to use as like my examples, I would pick something like vanilla World of Warcraft, in terms of like the classes, the combat, skill trees, talents, lots of abilities, that kind of thing. So that would be the RPG side of things. And then Colony Sim like RimWorld. And then a roguelite like Hades. So if you were to think of those 3 combined, and then also add procedural terrain generation on top of that, then that's what I would be going for. And let me get this fixed up, and then we can take a look at the procedural terrain, show that off a little bit. Where is the update placement? Okay, so anywhere that we're using the impact point, we actually need to get trace impact location and use that instead. Impact point, yeah, so grab these, put that there. That might be the only 2 that we need. That's just out location, so that's probably fine. That's going to be the same thing. That might be all we need. Okay, let's look at some procedural terrain. And tokens, hello. Thank you. C++ code is my comfort read. When I get stressed, I read the math library implementation. Okay, now you're just flexing on us. Now you're just flexing. I do, however, prefer code. You know, I'm a software engineer by trade, so I prefer code over blueprints. But blueprints are nice for some things. So here's the procedural terrain going. It's generating. Whenever I use the visual node stuff, it gets so cluttered because of awful organization. Yeah, playing the noodle organization game is not a fun one in my mind. So yeah, here's the world. This is procedural terrain. Every pixel on here is a terrain chunk. Every terrain chunk is 12,000 Unreal Schmeckles, whatever those might be. I think the whole world is like 1.5 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. I did that math at one point. And so we generate the map first, and then each terrain chunk gets its information as to what it should render as from this map, from each pixel on this map. And so you can look at the top here. It has some information on each terrain chunk. And so I think we're in the red zone here, which is called the Traveler's Inn of Rest. It's supposed to be a mountain. I don't have all the biomes and stuff built out yet, so a little boring. But we have altitude of 1, color red, area 88, 4 neighbors, 2 entrances, and the noise is sharp mountains. So each one of these should have a different biome, different terrain noise, and then they have borders on against each zone. And I did that intentionally. I created these mountains intentionally to make the zones very distinct. Here's like my meadows biome here. I need to change, get some red assets to make it match the redness and look cool. There's some nice hemp for you. Looks awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. But if I zoom out here, you can kind of see like this noise over here is like very craggy, very sharp and rocky. This is a little bit smoother, and then this is like very smooth. This will be like a plainsy, swampy type area as well. And I guess there's some more noise there. And then of course we have the 3D noise that like just carves up the terrain and creates these giant holes. There's all the underground noise. We got some noodle caves as well. You might run along and find a little cave like that you can travel through. And not all my terrain chunks are rendered. That's why there's some missing spots there. So I need to go back and fix that because I broke it. And sometimes you can find a little tunnel from zone to zone. This one might not have any. Check out a different seed then. Check out a different seed. Oh, this was seed 20. What was I on last night? Let's go to 195. Oh, that's all. That's all ocean. Bad seed. Middle of the ocean. Bad seed. I used to have water before I did the 3D noise. Oh no. Oh no. Got to rebuild. When you got exploring, you accidentally fall down a hole into the world and into the sky void. Yeah, that would happen. That would happen right now. Yeah, when I added all the 3D noise to the terrain that created all the caves and stuff, I kind of had to redo a bunch of the terrain generation because I didn't have any concept of a Z axis for the terrain chunk chords. I only did X, Y. And so I had to add those additional, like, because it was only height map based, so I could just generate it, you know, one go. One layer. It's going 196 now. But now I actually need the Z layers, and I do have that. They just don't generate at the right time. If I were to like run around a little bit, I think they'd get up and generated properly. Oh my god, sir. Okay, we have to rebuild again. Ignore my shitty code. Ignore it. We're getting some bad seeds. Okay, we'll go 197 this time. Seed 197. Oh, we're on 197. 198. Okay. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. It's always so fun when you get one tiny item of design and now you have to rework stuff. Design? Who's designing? This is free time hobby projects. We don't design here. We just shoot from the hip. No, it's my approach is very iterative, so I take, you know, little baby steps. So my first step was height map terrain, make it endless, you know, make it connect, do a weighted. I ended up doing like a weighted average blend. And so this is actually a really good example of that. So let's look at the world map here. What zone are we in? Oh, we're on an island. Nice. So there I am. Record scratch. Probably wondering how this is Howling Fjord, which is a WoW zone. The LLM stole this name from WoW. How dare it? But if you look at the lightness and darkness of each pixel, that represents the altitude. And so I have these altitude modifier curves. I have like an offset and a multiplier curve that take that number and apply it to each vertex in the terrain. So here's some of the vertices on the terrain. Exos, welcome in. Welcome in. And so if you look here, like this is all like super craggy rocky up here, but then down here it's smoother. And that's because the altitude of these chunks is lower. So the noise is showing through less. And this should be, I think this side should be the ocean. So back when I had water, there would be no mountain on this side. And then this would seamlessly blend into like a beach type area. But I added the 3D noise, which means like I can't just have like a flat plane of water. It needs to be like, you know, I need actual water volumes and shit. So I had to get rid of the water to allow these caves to show up. I need to build some things though. We need to test the interaction traces. Let's put some, and I have no wood. I only have the wood in my inventory. Okay, so that's a little weird. Yeah, the box trace is hitting the opposite one that I would want it to. By design, I mean the workings of any specific system, like you design some system. Okay, yeah, design. I guess I'm a little jaded from work where we literally write a design doc for every single bug. You realize how many assumptions you were making? Yeah. I get what you mean now. But we need to test and make sure that okay, so yeah, it's still a little fucky. Like that arrow that's showing up should be right on my hit hit trace right on the cursor. It needs to be right on the cursor. Let me go find out where else I need to change that. Oh, wait a second. Did I not? Wait. It didn't save. What the frick? It did not save. I literally just made these changes. Thank you, Unreal Engine. Thanks, Tim Sweeney. Okay, still not perfect. Looks like Fortnite, but good. I mean, this is all placeholder assets, so the vibes are not fully there yet. Definitely don't want it to end up looking like Fortnite. Out location. Yeah, why isn't that drawing the... Okay, yeah, okay, the drawing is just off. Right. Okay, so let's just do this. I might need to do the normal as well. That one might be a little weird. There we go. That's looking a lot better. There we go. That's what I want. Just gonna do the dummy objects here. I think the one thing that it really showed up for was like, oh damn, what is that? What is this? Okay, the stairs are being weird. Does it do this for the... Okay, it only did that for the dummy stairs. The dummy stairs are not snapping. Is that... Let me build these real quick. Okay. The stairs don't want to stare. They can stare there. I need it right here though. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Give me the logs. Jamie, pull up the logs. Could not find socket match. Okay, so let me check out. Let me check this out. What is it? Find best attach point to target. Let's see these sockets. Show me your sockets. If you show me your sockets, I'll show you mine. Okay. Has invalid collision. So I suppose this has an invalid collision. Yeah, okay. So let's check that out. Why are you invalidly... You should be snapping to that and then checking your collision. Connected buildings. Wall. Make the building animation something badass like a concert concerto. I don't know what that means. Lean into the magic. I will not say that I wouldn't put any magic, but I think that would be more so like I think there should be regular building, and then I think maybe if you're like a mage or you have a mage type colonist, maybe they can use magic to build a little more efficiently or something like that. I think that would be cool. The connected buildings, the wall. Yeah, you're not snapping where you should. And I do see the box getting drawn, so it is like... I wonder if the rotation's probably just not right. Rotate. Let me destroy those walls and see what happens. Yeah. So it's just that the rotation was wrong, so it didn't want to get placed there. That's annoying. I wonder if I should just always snap it to like the socket if it has it. Well, we can place that there first. And then put the walls there. Okay. All right, let's put some ceilings down here on these bad boys. Do the wood ceilings. Yeah, this is feeling a lot better than it was. The rotation is not, though. At least not when it's on the walls. Okay. Okay. Whoops, I fell. Okay. And so the dummy roof walls. Okay, yeah, this is feeling a lot better than yesterday. Oh, that's wrong. I do need to make the debug material, the blueprint material, a little darker, I think. 'Cause it is hard. The green is hard to see sometimes. Where's the dummy roof? Uh-oh. We broke the roof. What are you overlapping? Not only do you not have support. Not only do you not have support. Oh no, you just don't have support. Okay, I broke the support now as well. Connected to support. Okay, so we need to go into here. This is like my recursive function that checks all the things it's connected to. So let's see what the supporting actors are. We have one, which is the roof wall left. So we should be getting down here somewhere. Yeah, it provides, it's not going to be foundational support. Connected to support. Okay, so I suppose it's not connected to support, like, close enough. I think that's the issue. Because there's a check depth for this. Okay, so roofs need maybe... I knew I was going to get to this point eventually. I think roofs need like an additional check somewhere. Or they need, not an additional check, they need additional depth is what I meant to say. I think. Well, they should be socketed into... No, they should be socketed into the wall socket, right? Then that should provide foundational support. But we're not getting the wall from the supporting actors anymore. We're not getting that. And that was because... Why is that? Get supporting actors. Support provided by. Okay. Roof, ceiling, wall. Okay, yeah. So why didn't these... Okay, what are we on? Roof, wall, ceiling, wall 3. Now, I feel like this should be providing support. Requires support checker support, which shouldn't, it should not. The attach point for building. It's null. Is that the right wall? Wall 3. There were other walls, weren't there? There's wall 4 as well. So maybe we'll see if wall 4 is... Okay, this does have a building socket. Building socket. And building is built. Which is true. That should be returning true, no? It is, okay. That's what I would suspect. That's exactly what I would suspect. Roof? Oh, wait, hang on. Has support. Bro, what are you doing in Python? Nothing. Nothing. I'm not doing anything in Python, as a matter of fact. Why? What do you mean? This is C++. We're doing game dev though. We're doing game dev. So so we hit the roof wall left and then got the... Have you played a body cam game before? It's overhyped. No, I have not. I'm unaware of what you speak. So why didn't we just go? So we went to the roof wall left, and then that. Let me check and see which wall is which. Which wall do I actually want to return here? So there's wall 3 and 4. Oh, I want door actually. I want door. The 3 and 4 we don't want at all. Actually, let me check door here real quick. Have you ever gotten a job in software development? I have been a software engineer for about 10 years now. So yes, I have several. Okay, ignore that. Welcome in, though, everyone. Welcome in. We're working on a video game today. Okay, so this just extends from wall. So this should have the same sockets and everything. So it should be getting attached to this socket, which has roof there that has an applicable building type. Now it's also checked as foundational support, so anything socketed in there should be valid to build. I guess we're just not getting a return. Probably because of the collision of the roof, I'm gonna guess. Because we had to do the build collision here, which I guess, I'm gonna guess that's not actually getting the overlaps that we need it to now. As a guy in third year uni, the prospect of getting a job seems slim to none. Yeah, I feel bad for all you guys. All you college students coming out of it are in a tough spot. It was not like that when I started. And I dropped out of college. So I dropped out of college and still got a job. But yeah, it's rough out there. You must not give up hope. I need to go back to, where's my building object actor? Yeah, let's pin that. So get supporting buildings, we need get connected buildings, which we multiply by 1.01. Yeah, so that should, I mean, looking at this, that does overlap the door frame. Where did I learn C++? I'm entirely self-taught. I've been writing code since I was like 16 years old. Actually, if you wanted to know where I learned it from, it was World of Warcraft private servers is what originally taught me. Kind of. My parents wouldn't pay for a WoW sub back in the day, and I wanted to play with all my friends. So the only way I would even know what they were talking about was to like get on World of Warcraft private servers. And none of my friends wanted to play on that because it sounded sketchy. So I figured out how to like make my own private server, and that was the only way I could actually get my friends to play with me. And that's what actually taught me what like what programming was and got me interested in it and stuff. What uni was I in? It's not worth mentioning, nor do I want to give away that information. I was there for like 2 years and dropped out. I couldn't pay for it either, so I was only going part-time for 2 years. But I kind of got tired of paying teachers to teach me things I either already knew or could teach myself just from Googling things for free, so. Thankfully, I had done enough side projects and stuff. I also had my own, I started a business when I was 18 doing some website for small businesses in my area. So I had several of those to show, and I've convinced someone to hire me. Without a degree. And that was back in the time where you know, programmers were just getting hired left and right, so quite a bit different market. I work at Google now. Get overlapping buildings. So why aren't you, let's take a look at this bad boy. What are we getting here? So we're getting these static mesh overlapping components. I need door frame. There's door frame. Are we returning door frame here too? Okay, hang on. Okay, there's door frame. Okay, we do get door frame there. Get supporting actors. Let's go here. Connected buildings. We are getting door frame there. For the roof. Okay. So wait a second. Why the hell isn't this working then? If building, yeah, so we should be at least getting here. What building is this? Ceiling, door frame. Okay, why aren't you... Oh, you're null. The attach point. Okay, are we not attaching it? Degrees is entirely for credentials. Uni has only given me deeper knowledge into algorithms and theory stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, I always felt the way that they were teaching it in college was a little backwards too. Like, when you learn baseball, they don't teach you about, like, physics and gravity and the parabola of throwing a ball and the force of swinging a bat. No, they just toss the ball up and you swing and hit it, right? Whereas if you go to, like, at least the way my college was teaching it, is, like, they were teaching you, like, algorithms and shit in, like, some of the first classes. Like, of course, you had, like, your intro class, which kind of, like, tried to teach you programming a little bit. But in doing so, it's, like, teaching you about, like, bubble sort, heap sort, like, binary tree. I'm like... You don't need to know that to be a successful web dev, you know? Like, they should have just started with, like, some React course, you know what I mean? Just get people to just get a website or an app built, you know? They don't need to know all the algorithms and the fundamentals of compilers and shit like that. Leave that for the senior level classes, the junior and senior level classes, you know? So I always felt like it was a little backwards, the way they were teaching it anyway. Okay, so we're not actually getting the attach point for the door frame. That's why. That's why we're not working. Okay, so let me look at this. Door frame, give me your wall. There we go. There's wall socket 3. So keep a pin on that. Roof, if we spell it correctly. Let's look at your snockets. Okay, so yeah, those are slightly off. Okay. I need to get those aligned. I need to get those aligned. So here's what my sockets look like here. And so this one is like slightly off, I suppose. If it's snapped to one of these. This is the part I hate. And where let me look at like what it is in relation. So we're like here. Can I toggle show arrow? Did that actually show? Is there an arrow in there? No, it's not actually going to show me the arrow. My toggle button is broken. Wonderful. Wonderful. And so it was wall socket 3. Is like it's right on the border of the ceiling and the roof door, or the wall frame. And then roof, go to roof. It was like right there. Wall socket is, it's out and down too much, actually. It's out and down too much. So we need to move you like 2 in, 1, 2, 3 up, 4. Oh no, we need to move you up even more. 4, 5, 6 maybe even. 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh my god, it's so hard to tell where this is in 3D space. I think 5 up. 3 in maybe? 4, 5. 5 in, 5 up. Okay, that makes sense. 5 in, 5 up. 1. Oh god. There's 5. 150, 150. Okay, compile, save. There we go. We fixed it. There's our roofs. Okay, so next thing is I need to make the interaction trace not hit things that are behind me. I think that's the next move there. Here. I think my strategy for getting a job will be releasing my game and hoping it bolsters my resume. Yeah, I think side projects forever will be the best way. I built this kind of wrong, didn't I? That doesn't exactly work. Oh well. The point I'm trying to make is that it works. And my interaction trace keeps hitting the things that are behind me. Also, how are you guys supported? You guys should be... Uh-oh. Did we break that now, too? Those should have fallen. Now it is. Okay, what has support here? Interesting. Okay. Third-person platform that you play as a hot dog? Hell yeah, dude. Hey, you gotta start somewhere. You know, I started making a Pong clone back when I was in college. Oh, is there a big mountain over there? Let's go check. Kinda. Kinda. Where are we at? We are in Hallingford. I'm looking at Amethyst Grotto, and we're right next to the Dwarven Halls of Grimstone, which sounds like a fucking awesome zone. Zephyr Heights. Eldritch Grove. The Abyss of Darkness. Like... What was your first UE? This is my first UE project. This is my first UE project. Started about 2.5 years ago. Didn't really know anything. I'd never worked in C++ or game dev or Unreal Engine or procedural generation at all. So it's all still pretty new to me, even though it's been like 2.5 years of working on this. It's been a lot of fun though. Is this pre-made map? No, this is a procedural. This is all procedurally generated. Give me a seed. So give me a seed number. Have I tried Unity? I have. Feels less bulky, definitely. Though I don't like its crappy materials, no roughness maps, buggy handling, character. Yeah, Unreal Engine is a lot more powerful, but there's also just like tons of fucking systems crammed into it, so it's a much bigger learning curve. Bro, make body cam. Why are you so obsessed with body cam? What are you talking about, my dude? Let's try a different seed. 198, 199. 2 ABCD 45. I need integers. Give me... Okay, this is just completely flat zone here. There we go. Okay, where are we at? Minus 15. I think, will negative numbers work? I'm not sure. Never tried it. We are in the mountains of madness, and the mountains are so mad that they're not even mountains. Kind of a boring seed here. Okay, negative 15. I have no idea if this is gonna work. Oh, it does. There we go. I mean, it's just sent into a random stream, so I don't know why it would fail. We are in the Necromancer's Crypt of Death. You know, typical things. Emberfall Basin, the Mermaid Lagoon of Tranquility. The Tomb of Nine Gods. Jesus Christ, dude. These zone names are a little too crazy. I don't know if I can back that up, you know? Don't know if I can back that up. Back that ass up, you know what I'm saying? This is kind of a boring zone too, just all flat. What is my level in leet code? I don't do leet code. I have a job. I don't have fucking time for that shit. For say person noise, they make seams along the X and Y borders. Yeah, I do not have seams. The only seams are from the normals, not being averaged across terrain chunks. But there's no actual physical seams. Perlin noise. They make seams. No, I mean you can do Perlin noise without seams. That's what I was originally using. I'm using a version of gradient noise now, but it's good for problem solving. Yeah, but you don't have anything to show for it. That's the problem with leak code. Sure, just study it before an interview. That's all you need to do. Spend your time on working on projects where you can develop actual skills that you'll use in your job, not leak code algorithms that have been solved a million times over. That's going to do nothing in your day-to-day job. Yeah, so I actually generate the noise in 3 different compute shaders. So I wrote some HLSL for the height map, and I have another one for the 3D noise, and then I have a marching cubes shader that connects them together. So it's height map and 3D noise like combined, and like stitching them together is what kind of creates these cool little divots and stuff in the terrain. What are my PC specs? 3080 Ti, 7700X, and 64 gigs RAM. Fog gonna make it realistic? Add fog set boundaries? Yeah. I do have some fog in the distance. It's not super hard or anything. I haven't really done any of the ambiance type stuff yet. But yeah, I need to make darker caves as well. So we'll have probably some sort of either volume for that or just some code that runs on tick checking where the character is. Look at this nice like square zone. Use Perlin noise for some camera movement for player movement. It's gonna make the game realistic. Not every game needs to be realistic, dude. I don't know why you're going so hardcore on the realistic angle. Not every game. You see this now? Does this look realistic now? No. There are tons of games that are not realistic and they're fun. Yeah, the shadows aren't always correct. Taking advantage of any instance rendering for trees. Yeah, so it's all PCG spawned, so every single thing you see is in an instant static mesh. Including my entities. So I wrote my own ECS system as well. There's a built-in one called Mass in Unreal Engine. I wasn't quite happy with it. So let's spawn some casters here. But yeah, all my entities are instant static meshes as well. They should be. Are you spawning yet? Yeah, okay, they're all behind me. What do you use for the 3D modeling? These are all placeholder assets, so I didn't create any of these. But yeah, all these guys are actually instant static meshes that are vertex animated. So it's actually a static mesh, and then you bake all the animations into textures, into texture information. And then you can actually animate them on the GPU. And they're all looking for food right now. They're all looking for food, and these guys got the food, so they're hungry, running around. This guy's stuck. Oh god, there's multiple guys. Yeah, we still need to do some error handling on the move systems. This is Unreal Engine 5. Using Windows. Bro, but then the story needs to be really good to sell. I don't think you're speaking in absolutes, and the world is not black and white. There are a lot of ways to accomplish things. So what I'm going for is more sandboxy. So Colony Sim plus RPG plus roguelite is what I'm going for. So I want things with, I want you to be able to pick from different classes to play from. Every class has a different vibe, different play style, different abilities, different talents, different capabilities. You have talent trees, something longer than this, but I just wrote a few talents for for testing purposes. And there's going to be a colony sim part of it, so you'll run around in the world and you can like kind of like recruit people to join you, and you can build colonies, and they'll have moods and different capabilities, different skills. Like you'll send them to go chop trees for you. Like I have dynamic tree chopping, so these are all instant static meshes, but when the axe connects with them, it actually like I can actually subtract out a chop shape. I change it into a dynamic mesh and then subtract out the chop shape for the tree, and that's how tree chopping works. This game have weapon like gun. No, it'll be a medieval fantasy, so no guns. I like AAA titles, that's why. Yeah, that's not really that's not really that's not what we're here for. This is a solo project. So if you're thinking AAA, you're barking up the wrong tree. So yeah, like if I had to pick 3 games that I would take as my main inspiration for this. Actually, I'll say 5. I'll say 5. Vanilla WoW, RimWorld, Hades. I'll throw Legend of Zelda in there as well, because I want to do some procedural dungeons down in the caves and stuff. And procedural puzzles, like Zelda-like puzzles. And then I'll do Civilization as well. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just running around chopping trees. We're just exploring seeds and stuff. Make the tree when halfway cut will fall, because in real life that happens like that. Yeah, so games should not mimic real life, because that's not actually fun. Have I played GTA 5? I'm sure at one point I have played it. It is not a game I regularly play. Are you just like stuck on the tree? What are you stuck on? And so the tree chopping eventually will work like Valheim, where the tree falls. The physics will be better. Still need to work on that. But the tree will fall and deal damage to anything that it hits, including other trees, so you can have like tree dominoes and stuff like that. I guess Valheim, add Valheim to the list, because that's an inspiration as well. For sure. Everyone's just running around looking for food because they're hungry. Has anyone slept yet? I don't think anyone's slept yet. There's some mushrooms in the forest that they can eat, so that guy's probably gonna find some way up there. Whee. Okay, yeah, skip. What zone is over there? What zone is that? Whisperthorn Crag. That looks like a cool zone. Let's go over there. How have you handled items? Just finished a data structure for my items and inventory, and it got complex quick. I don't know that I'm doing anything special or anything. It's just kind of like a pretty simple like item hierarchy. I have an item class, I have an equipment class that extends from that, and then a weapon class that extends from equipment. Is there any day and night cycle in your game? Not yet. Haven't gotten there yet. Why did you prefer seeds instead of making the level manually? Like, why am I doing procedural terrain rather than hand making the terrain? A few different reasons. One, it's supposed to be sandboxy, and sandboxy games, you need to make them very replayable, and procedural terrain is a great way to do that. So if you've ever played a game like Valheim, you'll know exactly what I mean. Valheim, think Minecraft as well. Something like that is exactly what I got going on, in a different style. Okay, I might not be able to get over there. You may need to find another way in. And then also because I'm no artist, I'm a programmer, so I'm playing to my strengths as an indie developer. If I tried to hand make it, I would never get finished. I would never be finished if I was hand making the world. So I can lean into my skills as a programmer, as a developer, as a software engineer, and I can make the terrain make itself. And it'll be infinite possibilities and stuff like that, so tons of replayability there. I suppose I could go over to this side. Would I be able to get through here? I don't think so. I actually don't think there's a way to get into this zone. It is a cool zone though. I love the landscape. This nice big mountain and stuff like that. Why do I prefer C++ rather than blueprints? Because I'm a programmer. So it just makes more sense to me. And I don't like organizing blueprints. I think it gets messy really quick. And a lot of things I feel like I can do quicker in C++ as opposed to blueprints. Procedural system in Minecraft is so dope. I agree. They have some great talks on the procedural generation, how they build the world and stuff. So I've definitely taken some inspiration from those talks. That's where my noodle caves came from. So I have these skinny caves here. Actually, and they didn't explain this, but they have noodle and cheese caves. This would be what they call a cheese cave, this big glob. And then they also have noodle caves. So it's actually two different sets of noise. And the noodle caves come from, I figured out after I watched that presentation, you take like either the absolute value or you can square the noise output and it'll give you like these rings of noise. And if you take that noise and you intersect it with some more ring noise, it'll slice up all that and create these noodles. And then I took that and I stretched it on the X and Y axes to make them more walkable, so that they're not too vertical, and so you can actually like walk down them and stuff like that. And that's what created like these slices and stuff through the terrain. I'm not completely happy with it though. I want to revisit it because it does end up creating very circular caves, which I don't think are very good. Like that ring right there. It is all walkable, which is nice, but not the most interesting cave design. Eventually I'll get to the point where I can spawn ore and monsters and stuff down there, which is what we're kind of getting ready for. I'm just kind of tying up some systems, fixing some bugs and stuff like that, rounding out the building system right now is what I'm working on, the interaction traces. Then why don't you become a developer at Minecraft? Because I don't want to work on Minecraft. I want to work on my own game. I have my own ideas that I want to pursue. Why are my guys getting stuck? Hey, why are you guys stuck? Yeah, there's some error handling that needs to happen here. What are you guys doing? Oh, he gets unstuck. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Oh no, my trace isn't working. That's something we'll need to fix. Oh no, oh no. Jesus Christ. Oh, they fucked me up. That was so loud, I'm so sorry. What are they stuck on? It's a good question. It's not an issue I'm trying to solve right now, though. It's a bit of a side quest. We're trying to round out the building system, but I think we got the interaction traces working well. I think we got that working well. Now what I want to do for the interaction camera trace. Where is... Here we go. Building placement trace. This interaction distance. I actually want to, like... I want to only do it from, like, in front of the player. So I actually want to move this trace forward. But the start is based on the get camera location. So I may need, like, an override for that on this function. Is that how I want to do that? Just provide an additional parameter to override the start? And I could just like default it to, well, how would I know whether or not I should, what is your typing speed? I don't know. I don't give a shits about that. I thought you streamed playing game? Kinda, sorta. I play the game a little bit. There's not a whole lot to do in the game, but yeah, we're making games here. We're making games here. Wait, why is my on-screen chat is not working? Oh, I haven't. Okay, I'm dumb. Okay, hang on. Let's fix the on-screen chat real quick. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we should have on-screen chat. Right? There we go. Okay. Alright, so I need the start location to actually be moved up a little bit here for this function. Do I just make a separate one that has an override? I think so. I think so. So let's put that here. This is going to be like camera trace impl. We'll call the implementation of the camera trace. Whoops. Yeah, let's just generate that definition over there. Yeah, that's good. So we're actually gonna copy paste everything in here except for start and end. Well, let's put all the parameters on it. We'll put that there and then we'll return camera trace impl. Yeah, so let's give that some more parameters. So we have player controller out hit interact distance, and essentially we're gonna have we'll do const f vector start end, and we want another f vector for half size. Half size, and then what's the last one? Orientation. F rotator for orientation. I just joined. What are you up to? We're working on a game. Making a game. I am fiddling with some of the camera trace things. Out hits. Actually rename that. That should be hits. There we go. Okay, that's good. Camera trace impl. Pass everything in there. Interaction distance. I guess I don't need interaction distance, do I? Because I have to start and end. We get rid of that one. Okay. Can you just fill this out for me, Copilot? No? Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have the camera trace and we have the implementation. Maybe I should hide this? Although it could be nice to have that exposed to blueprints. That could definitely come in handy sometime in the future. Make an online game. I will also play it. I think it's so that it gets pretty complicated because of security just creating. Yeah. I definitely want it to be multiplayer. I don't know about online though. I'm not interested in running my own servers at the moment. But I do want to make it playable with friends. Okay, so we're gonna call camera trace impl here instead. And let me grab. We're gonna basically do the same thing. So this is gonna be copy paste for the most part here. Copy pasta. Interaction distance, so let's just plug in start, end, half size, and orientation. But the start, we're actually going to move forward. So we're going to do camera location, and we're going to move it forward to basically whatever. I need to figure out, like, what is the distance from the camera to the player, basically. What's the distance? That's not where you're supposed to be. So maybe I can just do something kind of naive here. Let's do float dist from cam to player. Give focal. That's actually exactly what I was going to do. That's wonderful. We're going to do start. And then I need to get point along direction. The direction needs to be, I think, is it just the, it'll be start minus end actually. Let me do this. So we can have a f vector direction end minus start exactly. And then yeah, that's actually exactly what I wanted to do. Thank you. So yeah, that's somewhat naive, but that shouldn't hit things behind the player. Now that should only hit things in front of the player. And maybe I should do this by default on all the camera trace things. We need to rebuild now because I touched a header file. How dare I? I know. But I think this should be good. Yeah, because that direction will be the same. Dist from cam to player. Camera location. Yeah, that'll be good. That's good enough. Oh, I can do this direction here. Direction dot rotation. We'll just inline that. My code is well structured. Thank you. You know, after 10 years of doing it, I would hope it at least resembles code that it has some sort of structure to it. Welcome in, though, Carl. Come on now. Okay, there we go. So now we're building. My God, look at those monkeys. You have a playlist for the music playing? It's just bits and hits on YouTube. You can find all their stuff on YouTube. It's all just like it's all like video game music that has been someone like they had a musician like make it lo-fi, and I love it. I think this is what is this from? This might be from WoW. I forget. Oh no, this is from Skyrim. That's a Skyrim track. Hey, for everyone on Shorts, first of all, hello, how are you doing? If you're interested in more horizontal stream stuff, which is probably better for this kind of thing, we also have the horizontal stream on my YouTube channel as well. So there's two streams on YouTube, and then we got a stream over on Twitch as well. If you prefer that, if that's your jam. If that's your jam. Okay, let's grab me a new seat. Although I think I already changed it to 200. Yeah, let's see what this is. Oh boy, what have I done here? Oh, because I changed the name. Oh, that's so annoying. I changed the name, and it's like, yeah, you gotta fix all that. I don't know what to do with that. I changed it from out hit to out hits, and it's just throwing a fit at me. Oh, bad seed. Bad seed. My vertex data is messed up. That should not be like that. The assertions. The assertions. Leave me alone. Come on, guys. Come on. Tim Sweeney, please let me use your engine, please. Oh, there's another assertion we hit. Okay, now we can use it. Thank you. Oh no, another one. What is this now? Oh, come on now. The derivative approximation. So if you're not familiar with noise, you can get the derivative of a noise function, and it will tell you essentially the rate of change of the noise. And when you're applying that noise to a height map, that gives you the slope or the normal of the noise without needing to. Oh my god, it didn't save this, did it? Okay, maybe just not that one single one. Okay, but you can get the slope or the normal of it without needing to, you know, do it after the fact. You can do it during generation, which is really nice. That's what that function crashed on. Boring seed, but we're in a forest, which will be good for the interaction trace and stuff. Bro, we are in a giant we're in a giant zone here. I guess there's another zone over here somewhere. Okay, what am I in now? The quartz fields. Yeah, the LLM doesn't understand what's being rendered, so the names are a little wonky. Little wonky. Okay. Yeah, let's build us a dummy house here. Okay. Okay, it's a nice window. A door, please. Go away. Door. Okay. Still hitting things behind me. Still hitting things behind. I need to turn on the interaction trace. Or the debug trace. Okay, let's turn on the trace. Let's see what it looks like. Live coding, just, you know, taking up all the time in the world. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Okay, let's look at this bad boy. If I don't fly around. Yeah, that's not what I want. It's not what I want. Where is that? So let's draw. Where am I? Right here. Oh, this is still the building. Yeah, okay, so we need to check. Let me do this. We actually need to. Yeah, I mean, it should be on the interactable trace, right? That's what it should be on. Maybe we should just do it on the camera trace. Maybe we should just do it on the camera trace. And that's where that sentence ends. And then orientation is direction dot rotation. Camera, change this back to camera trace. None of that matters anymore, right? What are the params here? Interact distance, yes. Interaction distance, out hit. Right. I have to redo this. There we go. Okay, so put that back. Turbo Cyber, hello. Welcome. Welcome in. I wish I don't have the YouTube Shorts hellos popping up in my chat feed. I wish they would. Okay, but now I guess just for any camera trace, we're gonna move it forward. And I think that makes sense. I can't imagine when I wouldn't want that on a camera trace. Like, when would I want to trace from the camera to the thing and hit something behind the player? I don't think I ever would. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, that's more what I want. That's more what I want. Although, yeah, okay. There we go. Now it just looks like he's got like a bazooka that he's hitting. And so that's only supposed to be drawing for 1 frame. Don't know why it's not. So I should be building the wall opposite me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, so now I hit the thing in front of me instead of behind me. That's exactly what I want. Okay. Okay, now we're looking good. Although I can, like, that trace happened from way far away now, though. Oh my god, I can interact from so far. What have I done here? What have I done here? Now I'm just checking the impact point distance. Let me look here. What is the distance? What's the distance on this shroom? 487? That's 487, huh? Yeah, so I guess because of the way I've done it, I've changed it now, so I can interact from a lot farther away. That's really far, though. That's really far. Player controller get focal location. So that, I mean, that is the player location. That's really 500. That's really, is that how long 500 is? Now I think I need to update the interaction trace distance. Interact distance is set to 500. Let's change it like 300. Seems fair. Oh god, it broke everything. Okay, I gotta restart. We'll try out a new seed while we're at it. 202, trying out seed 203. Okay, ocean, bad. Bad seed. Look at this little... Oh no, the trace is longer. Why is it drawing it like that, though? Oh, because I think we're doing a bunch of traces. We're not just doing one. 204. Also bad seed. So I do a ton of stuff on background threads, which a background thread is a thread that's just like abandonable. And so there's a lot of stuff that is like null and stuff and doesn't get garbage collected when I end it in play and editor sessions during like during generation and stuff. This doesn't look too bad. Where are we at? We are in the Silent Marsh next to the Glimmering Glade, the Mountains of Madness, Skull Valley, Jormunger's Wake, Soul Scream Valley, that's an awesome name, and Crystal Spire Desert. Let me find some shrooms. Looking for some mushrooms, looking for some, there we go. So that's about 300. Is that 300? Why does that not seem like 300? It's actually 300 times 2, I forgot. Right, because I'm checking the distance of the impact location. Okay, so let's check out this procedural zone here. We're in a giant zone, and then we're next to, it's all forest, so we got kind of a boring seed here. Let me look at the map again. Yeah, kind of a boring seed. Let's try a different one. I really need to work on some new biomes. I'm really wanting to work on like a swampy biome. I think that'll be so cool. I think it'll be so cool. Okay, bad seed. Middle of the ocean. Middle of the ocean. 207. All right. Bad seed again. Bad seed again. Let me see here. 203, 207, 208. Oh my god. I always want the player to spawn at 0, 0 on the map. Chunk 0, 0. And there's the map is 128 by 128. Each pixel on here is a chunk. And each chunk is 12,000 Unreal Schmeckles. Which I think that equates, if I'm remembering the math correctly, that equates to like 1.5 kilometers for the whole map. But I'm always trying to spawn them at 0, 0 because I want like the easier zones start at the middle, and as you travel out, they get harder, higher level, more difficult, you know. But what that means is I generate this map randomly, so a lot of them end up in the ocean. And now what I try to do Because I just like, I have a random stream, a seeded random stream, so I can just keep grabbing numbers from that are deterministically random. And so what I do is like, if is the chunk 00 is ocean, I just run it again. I just grab a new number from the stream. It's pretty naive, but I do that like 20 times max, and then if it's still in the ocean after 20 times, then I just spawn. And we'll need to do, I should probably do an offset where I just scooch the noise, the map noise over until you're on a spot that is on terrain and not ocean. This is a little more exciting. So we have the meadows biome over here that is paired with the craggy rocks. And then we have the actual meadows noise that has the forest on it. Those should probably be swapped. Let's take a look at the map here, though. Those are talents. Let me see. Where am I at? Where is my cursor at? Am I blind right now? Oh, there I am. I am blind. Jesus. I'm right here. Of course, like I said, 00. We are in the Golden Mesa, next to Netherstone Caverns, the Weaver's Loom of Cloth. Is it Unreal? It is. Welcome in, Bloodbath. Bloodbath. Welcome in. It is Unreal. Lightwood Thicket. I love that name. That's a cool name. When I think of the term Blightwood Thicket, I'm thinking of a bunch of really thorny bushes all over the place that like poison you if you run into them, which I think is a really cool idea for a zone. So if I can start tagging all my assets and stuff like that, and then feed them to the LLM before it generates the names, I think that'll be really fucking cool. I think it'll come up with some really cool names. See the camp here. Yeah, so is that 300? Let me look at the trace again here. Yeah, 287. But it's checking the distance from my player to the thing that I'm interacting with, which that seems so big for 300, doesn't it? Because my player is, well, I guess if the player is 180 tall, 90 half height, so from crotchular region to feet, about 90. How long have I worked on this project? It's so nice. Thank you. About 2.5 years. About 2.5 years is when I started working with Unreal, procedural generation, C++, game dev in general, really. So, yeah, started from scratch on all fronts about 2.5 years ago. So 300 actually feels a little bit long, too. I don't know, it's kind of nice, though. It's kind of nice. Maybe just take it down to 200. Maybe let's just take it down to 200. Oh god, I hate how compiling just breaks the interaction trace. Or it just breaks my character controllers and stuff. That's what I get for compiling. Oh my god, I hate this error so much. No, 0 stack trace from the internals of the fast noise library. So very annoying to debug. Very annoying to debug. Yeah, and I'm wondering if it has to do with this simmed level or not. So I'm using this fast noise library for noise generation, and it uses simmed, which is single instruction multiple data, which is like a processor architecture that allows you to do really efficient computations if you set it up correctly. So the library just has that built in with a bunch of different simmed architectures. So it runs really, really fast because of that. It runs really fast because of that. But I'm having some issues with that crash that just happened there. I mean, I think the interaction trace is feeling good, though. So I think we can maybe move on from that. I think we can maybe move on from that. I just need to tweak the, the distance. Interaction distance. Okay, that's 200 is good for now. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and comment out the, and I can probably commit this now. I'm afraid of commitment, but I think this is committable. What job do you do? Game dev? No, just software engineer. I don't think I would want a job in the game dev industry. Software engineering makes way more money. Okay, so what is this commit? What is this commit? What have I done here? This is just kind of like interaction traces. So I'll say update interaction traces to box traces. Okay, commit and push. Yeah. It's indie project? Yeah, so it's a solo project, only me. I want to try Unreal, but this looks too hard for me to try. No, dive on in. There is a steep learning curve, but there's a lot of great community like tutorials out there. A lot of good videos on YouTube. If you search like, you know, how to get started in Unreal Engine and stuff like that, tons of people make content for it. So the docs are better than they used to be, although they're not great. Unreal Engine is known for its not great docs. But it's not as bad as it seems, especially if you stay out of the C++ side of things. Then it's you can get started pretty quickly and do some cool stuff. Is this some software as a service? No, this is a video game. This is a video game. Mantling is all fucksy wucksy. That's one that I want to fix really bad. Well, let's cross off. Non-dummy ramps don't socket to each other. Let me test that out real quick. Did I fix that? Did I sufficiently fix that? Did I sufficiently fix the ramp snockets? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. So we got pretty much all craggy terrain noise. Oh, is there some mountain over there? Oh no. You can use BPs if you're starting. Yeah, exactly. That makes it a lot more palatable for sure. Okay, let me check. Oh, it was the ramps not snocketing to each other. Let me see here. Ramp. The rotations aren't right. I need to change. I thought I fucking fixed that. I thought I fixed that. Hang on. Ramp. Okay, now pull up, give me the dummy ramp as well. Yeah, okay, the rotations are all sorts of off now. Yeah, they're not, the pivots aren't right. I changed all that. Why didn't that save? I'm a MERN dev. It looks terrible to be, I'll be honest. That's a nice stack though. I like that stack. Trust me, I'm an Angular Dart dev for my job, and I'm jealous of you. And I'm jealous of you. Oh, okay, so that was interesting there actually. Let me see that again. Is that 200? Is that 200? That is not very long. Let me go find something interactable. There's a little sunflower. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's not too bad. For the interaction trace, did I take? I think I took out the times 2. I think that's the issue. On accident. Interactable. No, it's there. It's there. What's the floating green box do? That's just for showing the trace that I'm doing to get the things that are like interactable. And so I recently changed it from like a line trace, so just a single line, to a box trace, so that there's more wiggle room for the player, and you don't have to have like pixel perfect, you know, accuracy on your cursor. And that way I also don't, like, you could also just like make the collision of the things that you're tracing or wanting to return as a trace hit. You could just make the collision a little bit bigger or add some like components onto it, but I don't want to do that for every single you know, thing I put in the game. So I'd rather just do it once and have it work for everything. That's why I changed it to a box. And so that it's just taking a box and moving it through space and seeing what it hits. I'm just trying to figure out like some good distances and stuff. So I pass in interact distance times 2 as the distance, but then I iterate over the results, and then I check the distance from the impact point to the player focal location, which maybe this just needs to be longer. Maybe this just needs to be longer. Maybe times 4 then. So what's the vision? To build it and learn, or try and get some real users as well? Well, we call them players over here in game dev. I know you're in the software engineering side. But yeah, I would hope some people can play it someday. I have some very ambitious visions and ideas though. Is it a map for testing only, or is it the game app? That's the actual world. So that's the procedural terrain. And so the kind of game I'm going for is I'm going to do a combination of 3 different genres. RPG, Colony Sim, and Roguelite is what I want to combine. And I'm inspired by games like Vanilla WoW for the RPG side of things. Think lots of classes, warriors, mages, rogues, hunter, warlock, that kind of stuff. Lots of abilities, talent trees, deep talent trees, that kind of thing. And then for the Colony Sim side of things, going for something like a RimWorld. Very, very depthy Colony Sim system, very high stakes. You know, your colony's getting raided. You know, you need to build defenses. You gotta like build up your pawns. You give your pawns gear, that kind of thing. Can I stop hitting all the assertions, please? Yours looks awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you think so. I have some questions. How long did it take you to land your first software engineering job? Role you have and where you learn stuff. I really want to land a job as I become 18. I'm 16 now. Is it possible? So I started coding when I was 16 as well, actually. And I ended up dropping out of college. So my path was, started trying to code when I was 16. I probably copy and pasted code for 2 years. When I was 18, I started a business with some friends where we did like computer support. Okay, we got to rebuild. I don't know what was happening there. But I did like virus removal for like some, you know, family members and stuff, and like computer support for, you know, IT support for like small businesses in the area. And I did a little bit of web design too. I built some websites for some small businesses in the area. And that was when I was 18, and I went to college for about 2 years. I couldn't go full time because I couldn't pay for it. I got tired of paying teachers to either teach me things that I already knew. Half my classes were gen eds that I didn't care about. You know, I knew I wanted to be a programmer, and I knew I could learn it for free on my own. So I dropped out of college and ended up convincing someone to give me a job because I had enough side projects and stuff to show that I knew what I was doing. And that would have been at 2021. I forget exactly the actual time frame. But it's going to be a lot harder now. I'll be honest with you. It's going to be very, very difficult. But I think that the more you have to show for yourself, the more projects you have, and you need to work on projects that, you know, specifically, I think right now AI stuff. The more you can, like, even if it's just like using the AI APIs, you know, using the ChatGPT or Gemini APIs to do stuff. I think that'll look really good on a resume. I did back when I was doing it, I did a lot of like Internet of Things stuff, a lot of home automation stuff. I did some like camera movement software as well, back before that was popular. So those are the things that made me stand out on my resume. So the more you have of that, I think the better it's going to be to get a job. But I'll be honest with you, it's going to be really fucking tough right now. It's going to be really tough, especially as you become 18. I'll be honest with you. That's probably not going to happen. You know, I would love to be proven wrong about that. I would love to be proven wrong about that, but that's probably not going to happen. So you will probably want to go to college or something so that you can have that to show for yourself as well. How do you think from what I should start to create a game like Dark and Darker? Dungeon Extraction. Working as iOS developer, but never touched any game dev things. Yeah, I mean, if you're a developer, you know, you should already know how to learn new things. You know, you should already understand how to learn new programming languages and stuff. So pick an engine, start going. You know, I think the big three are Unreal Engine, Unity, and Godot. So one of those three. Godot probably better for the 2D side of things. Is it worth it to use SFML for projects or just straight to UE5? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is at all. Use the right tool for the job. If you're doing 2D things, Unreal isn't the right job. You know, if you're making something that doesn't need to be super visually impressive, Unreal Engine may also not be. May be overkill. Depends on what you want to do. So you got to look up the engine capabilities, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and you know, reconcile that with whatever your vision is for your game and figure out what you need. You know, do you need a visual scripting language? Unreal Engine might be for you then, because it's got a very nice blueprint visual scripting language. Do you know C++ already? Unreal Engine might be good. Do you already know C#? Maybe Unity's for you. I'm a software engineer, but in another area, started to work with games for hobby. Or someday I can maybe make a fully switch areas to work only with game dev. Yeah, I would love to do the same as well. Although I don't want to work at a game dev company because kind of, you know, game devs do much harder work than software engineers and they get paid less because it's like a passion industry, you know. Graduated in December 2023, and when I look at how things are going, I'm so lucky to have my job. Yeah, you got in before it got going. Yeah, you got in just in time. Answer for SFML is pretty good. I ended up preferring SDL because of the networking library. Are these game engines that I don't know about? What am I supposed to be doing? I forgot what I was testing. Can I make not safe for work games? Yeah, there's a whole bukkake load of those on the Steam on the Steam page. On the Steam you turn that on. So yeah, you can. You definitely can. Multimedia libraries. Oh, okay, so not even a game engine. Yeah, I guess it depends on how much you want to do yourself. Depends on, you know, maybe the kind of game that you want to make will require a hand-built game engine by yourself. I would encourage you not to reinvent the wheel, though. And I'm such a hypocrite when I say that because I rewrote some Unreal Engine systems for myself. But yeah, if there's already an engine that does everything that you need, I would encourage you to do that because there are people who are a lot better than you at game dev that have made very, very nice solutions for things. A lot better than me at game dev as well. I need to see this again. Turn this back on. My computer's bad, I cannot learn game dev. You can probably run Godot, make some 2D games. Okay, so that is getting the hit, but I'm guessing it's too far. Yeah, and how long is that now? I times it by 4. Oh yeah, that's plenty long. And they spent thousands of hours upgrading the engine. Yeah, all the rendering stuff, like I would it should be encouraged. Okay, so this is like too short now. It felt like 200 was too, or 300 was too long, but now it feels too short. Bro, can we just talk engineering? What do you mean? We kind of are. Game dev is engineering. Counts. If you want a game engine that will run on potato, recommend Love 2D. There's the game engine that was used to make Balatro. Nice recommendation there. I've not heard of that one. But yeah, there's a good example of being able to make a very, very popular game with a game engine probably a lot of people don't know about. Okay, let's find some mushrooms. Yeah, I mean, that seems fair, right? That seems fair. Yeah, that seems fair. Let me put a... That seems like a long way away. Share LinkedIn? Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking dox myself. Nice try, hacker. Was that the same distance? Let me see here. Okay, so that's about how far away I need to be to not. Okay, yeah, is it, or am I equidistant between these two things? Yeah, I guess, kinda. Okay, so you can just build from pretty far away. What the hell was that? Hello? Can I? Oh yeah, the Fuxy Wuxy mantling. Bruh, I just want to get connected. You need to work on your social engineering skills a little more before you get my details. I only give my social security number to the best hackers. Oh, I was trying to fix the I was gonna fix the ramps. Y'all got me all scatterbrained. Okay. Okay, I think I can hide this now. I think I'm happy with that for now. We can run live coding there. And then I need to like, let's go back into the test levels. Enough. Fun time's over. Fun time's over. I need to fix those ramps, which is like super annoying. Because I could have swore I fixed those. Okay. That one should be fixed. Yeah, I can even see it. Okay. I swear I did this already too. Then I want it to be, let me actually open that back up. I want it to be rotated to the right. To the right, to the right. Let me look at yeah, I want to rotate right. We're going to modeling mode and edit the pivots of all these so they actually spawn correctly. Transform, edit pivots, show me the delta. Okay. I think it's right. Wait a second. No, it needs to be left. I'm wrong. There we go. Accept. Accept. Ooh, I think I did that one too. I think that one messed up. Uh-oh. I think that messed up. Glad this video popped in my feed. Bye-bye, chat. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. I think I did that one too far. Okay. Accept. And then do this one. Yeah, yes. What did I just hit? Cancel whatever the hell that is. Okay. Delete. Okay, save everything. Save all. Save. Choose files to save. Save selected. Yeah, okay. I'm going to place all these again, and they all should have the same rotations. And I think there's going to be one that doesn't. Yeah, the metal ramp. The imposter. Okay, metal ramp, you need to be rotated probably right. Your pivot needs to go right. So it's like the kind of like the opposite of what it's rotated as. Excuse me. Metal ramp. Do I have that one too? Yeah, that one's right. Okay. Now those all look good. File, save everything, save all. Okay. Okay, let's make sure that those work. Okay. Let's place some foundations. Foundations, those are kind of high. Why are those so high now? So high. That snaps correctly. That snaps correctly. Okay. Stone. Stone looking good. Okay, I think these are all good now. I think we can assume these are all good. 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 Hello. Sir. Okay, did I fix the snapping too and the snocketing? I think it was with the wood ones that were weird. Okay, yeah, that all works now. So we fixed it. Okay. Yay. What do we got here? Camera trace hits blueprints behind the player first. Fix that. Wooden foundation trace goes to the building. We fix that. We changed the whole collision system. Entities can still be traced as well. Should also show some indicator outline and shader as to what you're interacting with. Yeah, still need to do that. Kicking that can down the road for sure. Kicking that can down the road for sure. Rip off Fortnite? Question mark. Like, are you asking? Are you telling me to do that, or are you asking if that's what I'm doing? Because that is definitely not what I'm doing. Just because I'm in Unreal Engine doesn't mean I'm ripping off Fortnite. Or I am not making a Fortnite, no. We're going for RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain is what we're going for. Let's commit this real quick. Extend interaction trace a bit, just push that. Okay, what should we work on now? What's next? What's next? We could work on some spawning of entities. We could work on that. There's a few more building things I want to do along with the whole controls. My voice is just like AI. Is it really? I've never heard that before. Do I use any effects? No. Does it sound like that? Whole controls. My voice is just like AI. Is it really? I've never. I hate the sound of my own voice. I don't know why you people hang out with me. The game is, like I said, RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. So I'm trying to combine games like Vanilla WoW, RimWorld, and Hades. We'll try to get a. Let me pick. I have a list of seeds that I found. Let me see here. 74? Is 74 cool? Let's check out 74. Which mic? I have a Wavelink 3. Wave 3. So here's the procedural terrain. And I want a colony sim to take place. And so, God damn it. I hate my life. Hate it. I need to fix that so bad. But I have no idea how I'm going to fix that one. But, you know, I want a bunch of different... It's a medieval fantasy game. I want a bunch of different classes. You know, warrior, mage, rogue, hunter, that kind of thing. Lots of abilities to choose from. Lots of talent, deep talent trees to go through. And procedural terrain, so every playthrough is different. Every zone is different. And you'll be running around in the world. You'll be interacting with all the various characters that you find there. I have LLM generated quests, so like AI generated quests. And hopefully in the future some AI generated personalities as well. But you'll get to like recruit colonists to your colony. You can build buildings and stuff, which are working on the building system a little bit today. And you'll have to defend your colony from raids and stuff like that while leveling up yourself, leveling up your colonists, crafting gear for your colonists, building buildings, building infrastructure, you know, getting them different jobs and stuff like that. As well as a roguelite. So when you die, you start over at level 1. But that means you'll be trying out new builds, basic, you know, not every run, but like you'll be able to switch up your builds each run, right? And you'll pick from random abilities every couple levels. And so you're kind of just rolling with the punches. So that's kind of what the game's about. Got a lot of work to do to get there though. I'm a sub to see the finished project. Well, I appreciate your sub. Thank you for that. Welcome. Yeah. You know, check back in 5 years for the finished product. Yeah, this is just an example of the procedural terrain. Here's the world map. A lot of different zones. We only have a couple different biomes right now, but we should be having more in the future. 3D noise with caves and stuff, so there's gonna be like ore and monsters down here. Right now, I've just spawned like a bunch of kind of like random stuff, so it's not super pretty, kind of haggard at the moment. But you know, think Minecraft when you go down in the caves and explore stuff. 5 years, yeah. I mean, with what I'm going for, probably, probably. But we made some good progress on a lot of really cool systems. But more is to be done. And what should we... I was trying to decide what I should work on next. This, we fixed that. I can cross that off now too. Yeah, there's a whole refactor I need to do as well. And honestly, I need to fix some of the terrain gen stuff. You need to fix the stones too, spawning in the top layer? What do you mean? Like that guy? That's supposed to be there. There's supposed to be some rocks in the forest. You will need rocks and stuff, so you will be able to like pick them up. That one's too big. These are too big. You'll need a pickaxe to get those. Oh, those are supposed to be there. There should be some smaller ones spawn that you can just pick up too. Maybe I need to change the weights there. But yeah, eventually I'll have those similar to the tree, like destructible with the pickaxe. So you'll mine it and get some stone and stuff. Eventually. So, what's next, just overall for me on this project? Because I've just been kind of fixing bugs, getting this ready. So, We got a good terrain gen system going. Still some fixes I need to do with that. I have the whole serialization of the PCG spawned assets on top of that working. I do need to do I need to do a better job at the hit traces, surface traces for the terrain chunks though. I need to basically make sure when I'm generating PCG for each chunk, if I'm at a Z chunk down here, right? So there's two more chunks on top of this guy. And what I have to do is a line trace for each position that I'm spawning something at to tell if it's on the surface or not. And that's how I determine whether or not these things are being spawned in a cave or not. Assets were all free for the week, Unreal Engine stuff. Or I got them from like a Humble Bundle or something. So yeah, all placeholder assets and free stuff. But like if I hit height map, that's how I know it's a surface vert. And that's how I know to spawn all this stuff. But there are some issues. Like the chunks don't spawn in order all the time. And I need to make sure that they do, so that when I do the line trace, it will hit the chunks that are above it, properly determining that they are surface vertices or not. So there's an error there with some of the PCG spawning that I need to fix. And that'll take just a refactor of the terrain generation system overall. Because again, some of the top ones aren't spawning either on first glance or first spawn. So it just needs to be improved overall as well. And then I'm spawning probably too much. Rendering probably too much, rather. Like, I don't need this bottom Z chunk down here, right? Because, like, when you're down in the caves, you can't see very far, you know, on the horizontal plane. You can only see very far when you're on the surface. So it's like, I want the surface, basically all the chunks at the 0Z level, I want a lot of those rendered. Because when you're on the surface, you'll be able to see very far. But when you're down in the caves, I don't really need all these spawned, right? I can probably just get away with like a radius of like 3 or 4 chunks. Probably maybe even less than that, probably 2 or 3 chunks radius. So I almost need to make it like, I need to render it like this, basically. Give me some lines. So if this is my, oh god, this is gonna be super scuffed, but bear with me. Here are the chunks. Now we're looking at the world from the side. Why did that turn that color? We're looking at that from the side. So here's like the terrain, right? The terrain is like that. I only need to spawn like these chunks, all these chunks, and then maybe like these ones, right? If the player is like right here. If the player's like right here, spawn like, you know, maybe these ones right here too. So I only need to like spawn these, you know, all these ones, and if there are any existing on top. The game is about having fun. I fucking hope so. So I don't need to spawn, you know, this guy, this guy, this guy. And right now I am. So that's what I'm trying to explain. So that can be improved. So that'll be important stuff. Now, I need to just improve the building system controls and UI more. There's a lot of error handling that I need to do in the entity system that'll be important. We already saw some of that earlier in the stream where some guys were getting stuck and stuff. I already have some of those things written down. There's the animation system I need to work on as well, but that's kind of lower priority, I think. The exciting thing is working on more biomes, at least a couple more terrain noises as well, parameterized terrains, and I actually want to start spawning things too. And right now I just have the humanoids to spawn, but I do have some like wolf assets and stuff. I just need to get them all. I need to bake them all to vertex animated textures to be used as a part of the entity system, which maybe I'll just do that for a couple just for proof of concepts, but I don't want to, it kind of takes a while. So I don't want to do that like too much because I'm going to end up replacing all these assets anyway at some point, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. And I'll have to redo it all for the new assets. But I think probably the fun stuff is, do I have a definitive name for it? Yeah, it's called My Project. I know, hell of a name for a game, I know. Popular name. Yeah, I have no idea what I want to fucking call it. I keep thinking about that. Every time I go for a walk, I think about that. Look at this little dog here. Yeah, a little sleepy pup. I think I actually want to spawn some things in the world, like by default. And that'll be, I think the PCG graph is going to spawn those. I think. Let me open up just forest PCG. So here's my PCG graph for the forest. This is kind of like my default stuff. How long is development going on? I've been working on this for about 2.5 years on my own. I need to fix some of this stuff too, but I'm thinking that I'll be spawning like points of interest as well, and that'll determine some. Let's start writing some stuff down, right? Do I have a section for this already? Do I have a section for this already? EQS spawn entities. I don't know that I'll use EQS or not. So I do have a little bit written down here. What game are you working on? This is just my own game, solo project. No name yet. It'll be RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain. So think something like, you know, Valheim or Minecraft, but with but you're managing a colony. Something like RimWorld or something like that. So PCG spawned points of interest. And for those who don't know, PCG stands for procedural content generation. So that's what this graph is doing, and that's how I'm spawning all this stuff procedurally, randomly, with different like rules and stuff set up. So PCG, that graph is probably going to spawn some POIs. Now I probably need, each POI probably needs its own graph, and then the biome can probably determine what POIs can spawn in it. Okay, so let's start writing this stuff down. EQS spawn. Let's create a new little section here. Let's do procedural spawned POIs. Let's say biomes can define which POIs can be spawned. And then we also want to say, what do we want to say? That POIs are defined by a PCG graph that spawn assets and spawn points. 2.5 years with 5 years to go. It's rough out there. I meme about the 5 years because the things I'm going for are quite ambitious. So it's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute. It's gonna be a minute. POI is defined by PCG graph that spawns assets and spawn points. And I'll say these should output some sort of volume so that we can call. Should it be a volume? Maybe there's a volume as well, some sort of bounding. I'll say bounding volume, so that we can call things within it in the biome graph. In the biome graph or from the biome graph? From the biome PCG graph. Biomes can define which POIs can be spawned. Should randomly select them. Or rather, random placement determined by biome graph. Because there's probably going to be like an input, right? Some sort of, I'll have an input, or it'll be some data probably. I can probably just there's like a node like get actor get actor data or actor that's spatial data, but like get actor property. And so I can probably get the actual biome definition here and then get the property that contains all the graph references. Okay, that's for POIs. And there would also be like there's also like, I don't want to say that, like there's like background spawns too. And what I mean by that is like each biome is going to have like some wildlife that needs to spawn. And I need to determine where to spawn it, what to spawn, and you know, give it all the entity data there. The entity archetype is what I call that. So that'll be defined by the biome as well. Let's call this like background spawns, wildlife, etc. that exists outside, that I'll say spawns outside the bounds of POIs. Defined on the biome definition is where we would want that data. And I'll say determined by biome PCG, or should I say, I'll say output from the biome PCG graph. Should it be on the biome definition? I mean, maybe that there's like a random selection, like some random placement that's output from the biome PCG, because we just need the points, really, is what it's doing. Placement, spawn point, output from the, so I just need like the location and then what should spawn, really. And then after I extract that from the PCG graph, then I can run the spawner on that. Background spawns. Then I have here colonies would potentially spawn entities. You know, other AI ran colonies, which is going to be really cool if I can create some logic, some random logic for like AI colonies building themselves. That'll be really cool. It's like in Minecraft or something like that. They're statically placed. Like the villages in Minecraft don't grow or shrink, you know. And I do want that kind of thing for me. Random raids could spawn entities. Yeah, that's going to happen a lot. But that's going to probably be a part of a completely different system. That's probably not going to come from PCG. There is going to need to be some sort of raid system that happens, some sort of random event, right? And I'll need to kind of define a colony somehow and have some encapsulation of a colony. Yeah, so this is probably good use of spatial noise for the background spawns. You know, think something like wolves or just like bandits. Right now it'll just be like random bandits that kind of wander around. And I'll need to create some archetypes for like guys that don't get hungry, because and I'll need to change their state trees. And thankfully I made that all modular, so that should be pretty easy to do. Going back to the POIs though and how those interact, the part that's a little fuzzy for me still is, I think one, let me write down these questions. So one, how am I determining what POI to spawn? How am I determining where that can spawn? Hello there to you. Welcome in. what POI to spawn, where that POI can spawn. I suppose each POI graph is going to need some logic in it. And it should probably output whether it was successfully spawned. Right? If you're thinking about, like, you know, maybe we should spawn a village and you get like this location, right? Like it's like too steep, right? Like there's or like maybe on the side of this mountain, like that's too steep. And so the graph should be able to filter that out. And I did play around with it a little earlier, but the graph could also decide, the biome graph itself could also decide what to spawn. But if I'm thinking the bigger picture of what I want to do with the intentional procedural generation, I think I may want to decide what can spawn before the graph ever runs, before the terrain's ever generated, probably as a part of the biome definition itself. And then I can pick where in the biome things will spawn. I'm trying to think, because like different POIs are going to want different applicable terrains, right? And so I could make a POI also define its own terrain and carve into the, it could also carve into the terrain generation process. Especially if I had a volume for it. If I did it chunk based, if I had a chunk based POI system, then I could blend that chunk into all the neighboring chunks with the same logic that I already do that with the neighboring biomes. So there's like a terrain chunk. You could define like an area. You know, a POI could take up a certain number of chunks, right? Could take up a certain number of chunks. And let's just say it's one chunk. Let's pick a here we go. A nice flattish chunk here. Flattish. There we go. That's flattish. And so if I have a POI defined with a graph, I suppose I could generate some terrain with the PCG graph. I could generate some terrain with the PCG graph. Using spatial noise and stuff. And because you can, I'm pretty sure you can just spawn dynamic mesh components and shit. Append meshes from points. Create empty dynamic mesh. Yeah, merge dynamic mesh. Spawn dynamic mesh. Yeah. So I could create dynamic meshes. But then how would I get those intersected with the terrain system? I guess the easiest way would be to just reuse the existing parameterized noise that I have that already are used for each chunk. And I guess a POI, like let's say it's kind of a bad example, but let's say we're in like a super craggy, rocky, mountainy area and I want to spawn a town. The town could say, okay, I need the chunks that I'm spawned on to be the flatter noise, gently rolling hills type of noise terrain. And so I could say, okay, whatever chunks you're taking up, set the terrain noise to this thing, override it from the biome definition. And then that would just work. Now, that doesn't give me as much control over it. Which is sad, because I could do some really cool things with PCG spawn terrain. And I do want to have a system where I can create my own like landmarks and stuff. I can create a quarry, a crevice, you know, that kind of stuff with some noise. I mean, doing that with PCG would be pretty nice, I think. Because you have a lot of control over that system. Now, I may need to make some of my own nodes for that. Because right now, the spatial noise, I think, it doesn't really have that many... It's got some. Voronoi, Perlin. It's only got 2D noise, though. Interesting. It's only got 2D noise. So yeah, I mean, I can very easily... I've created my own nodes before in C++. And I can run, I can just probably use the fast noise stuff. It would be nice to get some visuals for that. To visualize the noise a little bit better. That's what the materials are good for. Let me think. That could be cool, but then how would I, if I were to have like some dynamic mesh terrain, how would I blend that? How would I blend that? I suppose I would just need to make sure, because I need it to match up with everything that's around it. I suppose I would just need to make sure that by the time it gets to the edges of the chunk that I'm overriding, it's the same values as the neighbors. That could be an easy way to do it. That way it's like in a contained, defined space. But the 3D noise could be a problem there. Turning Cog, welcome in, hello. Picked up a quarry in the last Humble Bundle. Is it a terrain quarry? Maybe I should check out the Humble Bundle. Dude, I always forget to I need to check out the fab things. Or do we have some new freebies? Hard to know. Where are the limited free time? Do I have these? I don't think I have these. Brushify, Ultimate Spell System, Sci-Fi Troopers collections. Free stuff. Yeah, the 3D noise is an issue because it would be really weird for it to just stop abruptly. I guess the same could be said for the height map too. I wonder if I do that blending in PCG, if I can somehow get the output of a given terrain chunk of its vertex and index data buffers, then I can do that blending in PCG. Create a node for that blending too. God, I'm a little afraid of doing that in PCG though. Like the utility of it does sound nice, but I'm a little afraid of the caching that would happen. That would be a lot of data. That would be a lot of data. Those graphs would not exactly run quickly, would they? I suppose the easier way might be to just have the graphs determine whether they're spawning on terrain that's valid or not. And if not, I skip them or change locations, you know. That would probably be the easy way to do it. But that would be less interesting. That would create less interesting points of interest. It would make it seem less intentional. But that's kind of like stretch goals, right? That's kind of stretch goals. What POI to spawn? What the fuck did I just join? Is this how a game is made? Kinda. It's a lot of this too. This is probably mostly what you'll be looking at. Welcome in though. Welcome in. I'm trying to figure out how I want to, because I have procedural terrain. So it's like, you know, it's like Minecraft. I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle points of interest. And also how those are going to determine spawn points for the entities in the game. The monsters, the mobs, you know, that kind of stuff. And so how am I determining what POI to spawn? I think this is just like random choice from list in, I'll say on biome def. And where that can spawn, PCG graph should have some should filter out invalid locations. And I'll also say that pick a terrain chunk in somewhere in the zone, right? Did you watch the Unreal Fest lecture from CDPR about world partition? I did not. I only watched the keynote or whatever. Filter out invalid locations and return success failure so that we can maybe pick another POI or just skip the chunk. And so this is kind of like the naive approach to doing this. Pick a terrain chunk and try to match it up with a random POI. I fixed a bunch of the level streaming. Well, that doesn't matter to me because I can't read. But actually because I don't use the level streaming at all, so I know nothing about the whole world partition landscape of Unreal Engine. Third time visiting you. Sumit, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I'm excited that CDPR is in on Unreal Engine. I see that as a great thing for both companies. What type of game are you making? RPG? Yeah, so it'll be RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain is what I'm working on. So I want to be able to run around in the world, you know, cast spells at enemies and stuff, you know, level up, pick abilities and talents, recruit colonists, build a colony, that kind of stuff. We got some building in the game. Every playthrough is different, procedural terrain, you know, kind of like Minecraft. Here's the world. And I'm trying to right now, I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle deciding spawn points and POIs. They kind of interact with each other. I guess the easiest part would be for me to just spawn random things. I'm gonna start with game dev. I got a laptop with an i5 processor. You gotta pick an engine and start going. The big three: Unreal Engine, Unity, or Godot. All good choices for starting. You know, Unreal Engine is definitely the beefier of the engines. So, if you don't have a good computer, you can always download it and see how it runs. You know, nothing's stopping you from doing that. But if you don't have that good of a laptop, probably something more on the Unity or Godot side of things would be better for you. Hello. Okay, finally we destroyed that. Jeez. Is Godot good? I mean, I've never used it, but there's tons of people I know in the Twitch software and development section. Godot seems to be one of the popular engines. It is open source. I hear it's getting better all the time. So a lot of people doing 2D games use it. I know. So good for 2D at the very least. But yeah, you'll have to try it out and see for yourself. Yeah, I guess the easiest part would just be doing the background spawns defined on the biome definition. Pick randomly from list on right now. There's not going to be very many. How long have you been making this? About 2.5 years now. Some random placement spawn point output from. Yeah, so I guess like we'll use spatial noise to determine the area. Use spatial noise to determine the area to spawn within. I'll say archetype list. Archetype list should have some spawn params. This will be like, how close am I to being done? Ask me again in 5 years. There are plenty of things you can shut off in Unreal and rendering options to turn on to make it run on a mobile and low spec hardware. Yeah, true. True that. Listen to Turning Cog. Yeah, you can. I forget you can make mobile games with Unreal Engine. That is possible. But yeah, Unreal Engine, a lot of systems out of the box, so very powerful, but a big learning curve. But if you don't know how to code, maybe that's good because they have the visual scripting language, the blueprints. They can be very nice. Spawn params. Now, basically, I need like a spawn area or radius, so that I don't spawn too many on top of each other. Right, because if I think about how things are spawned in WoW, in like vanilla WoW, it kind of seems like they have some spawn points in some zones, and you know, this will be like, oh, wolves spawn in this forest over here, and then they're like the spawn points are like far enough away from each other to where they only overlap like a little bit. I don't know how to code, but apparently it's how you think about problems matters more. Well, I was just commenting on, like, you know, Godot doesn't have a visual scripting language, right? So if you don't know how to code, you would need to learn how to code to use Godot. Unity does not either, as far as I know. But last time I checked, which was a long time ago, it did not. So yeah, don't spawn them too close to each other. Something to make sure they don't spawn too close to each other. And I guess like some logic to like filter, right? Whether or not to like spawn it in a cave or on the surface. Cave/surface. What else would I need? I'll say when placing a spawn point, we would need like, I would need to do like some sort of like distance filter, right? From the other things. Based on the above spawn area to call points, something like that. Whoops. Apologies. Okay. So I don't know if I'll actually get into this today. I'm probably just speccing this out for next stream. Facial noise probably. Yeah, I've already defined that. Now, how am I going to handle... So I'm going to need like different things. Right now I only have one, so maybe I don't worry about this right now. Hyperons, welcome in. Hello there. Hello to you. Some random placements. Yeah, so I would want spatial noise. But how would I wouldn't want like... If I have multiple, you know, think wildlife, you know. Would I want things to just patrol around the biome? Yeah, I could have patrol point spawns. Right? Those, I think, that would just be, the patrol logic would be a state tree. A special state tree task. Yeah, dude, the entity archetype hierarchies are going to get complicated. If I have that, yeah. But I mean, that's why I did the whole hierarchies that I have. But for potential, you know, over, like, if we have spatial noise, right? And maybe I can demonstrate this. Give me some spatial noise. Okay, you're really gonna get upset with me? Leave me alone. Oh, you can visualize it. Oh, that's new. Oh, that's so fucking sick. Look at that. That's my terrain. Bro, that's so sick. That's new in 5.6. Oh, I didn't even realize that was there. Can you show back up, please? Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me? I want you back. Force regen. You're still waiting to update? Yeah. It wasn't too bad for me. I've had worse updates. Okay, so why did that show up and why isn't it now? I changed the contrast. I was hoping to get it a little darker. Interesting. Please come back. You're my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan. Hey, Buddy Fury. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Thank you. And welcome. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so it worked. Oh, now it's showing up in the world though. So that's what I was expecting. And I wanted to make the density a little sharper. That's what the spatial noise looks like. And so what you would do is like a density filter on this. 0.5, sure. So let's debug that. Can you switch over, please? Do I need to force regen every time? There we go. So I filtered some out. And so this would be like an area, and this works across terrain chunks. So it'll match up on every terrain chunk. Well, then, you know, this is some area defined for like wolf spawns. And I could just use all the culled points as well for different spawns. But that would only be 2. So I'm kind of wondering, like, if I wanted to do more than just 2 background spawn points. How would I do that? I could use just the yeah, I could just use the density range, right? So instead of like 0.5 is spawn A and then 0.5 to 1 is spawn B, it could be spawn A is 0 to 0.25 spawn, you know, and then I can determine how many things spawn in the world based on how big of a range it takes up. But then that makes it all like gradient-y. That makes it all gradiential. Is that a word? I don't know. Which, I mean, I don't know if you'd ever notice as a player running around that that's what it is. But it would just flow from one to the other, and like whatever you had from 0 to 0.25 would never be what you have at 0.75 to 1, right? Like those would never be next to each other. So you'd have that limitation. I guess I could come up with some noise to create a kind of like splat map, I suppose. Just splat a bunch of different colors, you know? Do a bunch of different noises. Take the highest, however many sets of noise, and then just take the highest X from each one, you know? In a location. That would give me more and more control over it. I think that would be good. Yeah. That would be what we would want to do. And that would be based on the number of times that I do that would be based off of just RNG. Run the RNG on, you know, how many different things are spawned into this zone. Yeah, that would work. That would work. I would have parameters for like the noise, the like required noise level. Required to spawn. And that way I could make them more or less rare. Or let's do like a min and max noise level. Required noise level to spawn is random floats in min max range. That way it's not the same for everything. I think that's a good start. I think this is a good start. I don't have multiple things to spawn other than just multiple types of humanoids, I guess. So I suppose I could do 3 different humanoids. I can do a friendly one, a neutral one, and then a hostile one. And I should just set them to just like their state tree logic is attack or just wander in range, in radius. And then I guess if I'm making those colonists recruitable, then I would need to update their state trees to belong for when they belong to a colony. That's an interesting concept. Would I just spawn a new one with the same settings, but like different archetype? Would that be easier or harder than editing the because like the archetypes are all data assets for these entities. Oh no, I made them blueprint classes. Interesting. I forgot I did that. And this was for the inheritance, the hierarchical stuff. So I could make a copy of those and edit it, right? So that actually would be possible. What would be really annoying is if on every archetype that I have... Oh no, they are data assets. No, the entity data. Oh, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, I think I have to update the existing entity. And I think I would have to swap out. And I mean, the colony entity data is going to be all the same. The state tree, I'll just swap out the state tree and the colony info, I think. Yeah, maybe they never spawn with colony data, actually. Because, I mean, what does that do? Nothing at the moment. It stores data, there's just no settings. So there is data on that. I guess it would just be the state tree, because that's what defines their, like, behaviors and stuff, you know? And I guess I could decide whether or not to spawn, like, ones that actually run around in the zone and try to, like, find food and shit, and if they die or not. Those are all decisions that I need to make. But baby steps now. Let's do iterative approach. We can just spawn default ones for now. And I think at first for this system, I don't want to spawn it on the whole world every time a terrain chunk spawns. I want to, like, maybe just for the zone that I'm in. For debug, only spawn in starting zone. Okay. Okay, that's sounding good. That's sounding good. What else do I need to consider here? So I'm not going to do POIs yet, so I don't want to do any faction-related things. I just want to spawn random entities with some very basic behaviors. And the behaviors I have right now are actually a bit more complicated than they need to be. That's a good start, though. I have got some stuff to do today. So I think this is going to do it for me. Short little stream this morning. Let's see who's streaming that I can raid. Okay, no one that I know. Is anyone doing Unreal Engine development on Twitch? Oh, we got a couple people. Public review. What's this guy doing?
Right now we're trying to get a prototype build out.
Cool.
And I was hoping to get it out sometime like today. You know, make an announcement. We've got a prototype build. We're looking for that public feedback, criticisms. You know, what do they think?
There was one other person. Let me check here. For Unreal Engine, chill work research. That does not look like Unreal Engine. What else are people doing in the Unreal Engine or in the software and game development section? Let's see. Let's see. No brain rot. That's funny. Hyperods, are you streaming? Go stream and I'll raid you. Some Unity game dev. I don't know. It's kind of dead today. Kind of dead today. Not at the moment. Maybe later. Okay. Maybe next time. Hey, let's just pick someone who's doing Unreal Engine. We'll pick that one guy I saw. Struggling a bit with my power system. Well, I hope you get that figured out. Let's start the raid. We're gonna raid range +1 dev. Doing some Unreal Engine stuff. He said he's working on like a prototype he's trying to get out. I don't know who this is, but I'm gonna send you guys over there. I already started the raid, unfortunately. Already started the raid. But thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I have some stuff to take care of today, so I can't stream for longer, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll stream again tomorrow. It'll probably be tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Turning Cog, Hyperons, nice to see you guys. And I'll see you all later. Take care.